This is the next episode, so let's jump right in. Now on to the next one. So, when it comes to
Roger.
these ones,
Affirmative. Roger.
they get very complicated. And originally I was recording this video with 2 targets, and then any more would only be a benefit to the area. Now, there's doors. Now, generally speaking, and ready or not, you're pretty safe. When it comes to a door, you can usually open a door, engage into that room, and the odds of them opening the door is, generally speaking, not as high. In Door Kickers 2, it's pretty high that they're going to open the door. So I'm going to try to show you just a little bit of the issues with having 2 teammates. And then I'm going to just show you how to do it with 4. The principles are still very similar to the previous ones. It's just that when there is a door of potential unknown threat, that is a large potential unknown threat, because you're almost engaging the entire room. That's when it becomes very dangerous, because essentially what you have here, if both doors open, is a fatal funnel. And anyone standing in this area is going to die, because the entirety of this room pretty much can see and shoot at this target from both rooms. So anywhere around this area is going to be just death. So with that said, we are going to do the same thing. We're going to put our focus cross coverage like this. Oopsie. Like this. And we're going to prep these guys for when I use them. Oop. And bam. Okay. So same thing. Principles are going to be the same. Cross coverage. Now, as I said, you don't want to do this with 2 people. I tried doing these with 2 people, and it's barely doable. On Ready or Not, it's probably slightly better. But the best thing you can do, if you're playing Ready or Not, and you come across this type of structure in terms of blueprint or whatever you want to call it, what you have to do is focus on one room. Now, if you have a wedge, obviously that's the easy solution. Wedge it, and then this room becomes very easy to deal with. But if you can't wedge the door, then obviously you have to deal with both doors, and it's very difficult. There's no wedges in Door Kickers 2. And Ready or Not, there's wedges. So wedge this door, wedge one of the doors, and then deal with one thing at a time. I can't wedge the door. So we have to deal with still, preferably one thing at a time, but there's a potential risk of threat. Now, I tested quite a few ways how to do this. I really don't remember what really worked out. I just basically concluded that you shouldn't do this with 2 people because it's just not manageable. You need more weapons and vision to deal with this T-junction. It is a very difficult one. It doesn't look that difficult. These ones aren't this difficult. This is the least difficult out of the T-junctions with doors, but still very difficult to deal with. Okay, so say we stack on this door and we are covering this. Now that's great. This door opens. You can shoot things here and you're pretty safe. Generally speaking, their guy can come around the corner, and Ready or Not, better have good reaction time. But generally speaking, it's not too bad. Now, if this door opens, this is at threat. And as I've kind of talked about before, you go back to back. So what would that look like? Well, it would look like this. This door opens. There's a threat that I can't defend against versus this guy. What can you do? I'd have to be here to defend them. And you kind of see how they'll just kind of keep going like this until you're kind of just ending up here to be the best bet. Now, why is this bad? Obviously, as I pointed out, it's the fatal funnel of the both rooms. The fatal funnel of both rooms. So both doors open. you're going to get boned so quickly because you cannot engage an entire room with this much vision that quickly. Hopefully you're praying that there is maybe one target that you have to deal with at a time, or maybe none. And you're like, okay. So the best you can kind of do is this. So if this door opens, I can engage anything. It's not engaging too much of the room. It's still engaging a lot of the room. And we're going to open this door, and we're going to try to take this room. You don't want to do this, but I'm just going to show you this as an illustration how these things warrant more team. You don't have enough soldiers, don't have enough people, teammates. You're not going to be able to do this very effectively. It's always going to be a gamble. You can get lucky, but that's still just not good enough. I'm going to be talking about C2 charges. So blowing the door. That is a viable strategy. It also costs resources. We're just going to do the non-resource thing first, and then we're going to get into resource using. So from here, what do you have to do? I have to open the door. What is the issue with door kickers? You need somebody to open the door for you. So what we're going to do is this person's going to open the door, and this person's going to cover. That sucks. As you can see, this is not meant to be a good run.
Not here.
I thought I had vision of this target. So now we're back in cross coverage, and as you can see, this is a big issue. Now I'm stuck here. Not much you can do. Try this again, just to kind of illustrate a lot of these scenarios that would happen. I've already seen these scenarios, generally speaking, but there's no really good way to do this. There might be a least bad way to do this. But it's always going to be bad in some manner. Always going to be poor sight lines. See, this target still dies too quickly because he reacts too quickly, takes out that target. And as I said, in door kickers, when someone's opening the door, they can't move or react. They got to open the door, then put up their weapon, and then shoot. That's why you always have to have someone covering their back. And ready or not, you can open a door and shoot. So this T-junction would be a lot easier to do in ready or not. And as I said, they don't really open the doors aggressively that often, even though they will in ready or not. So in door kickers, it's not really easy to do this, quite frankly. So we're going to do this again. Just kind of illustrate the point of how dangerous T-junctions can be. Let's say we're just going to open this door close. Why can I not move this? There we go. Boop. Let's we'll kick the door. Boom. Oops. Move that. So this door's open. This door's not open. That's great. Now I can pie this room. So, oops. That's unlucky. But I can technically pie this room. I'm going to do a... Obviously, I did a running pie, not a slicing pie, where you take your time. But I cleared that room. From here, technically it's pretty easy. Aside from opening the door in door kickers, because you need a person to open it. But you're going to try to open the door as far as you can away. I see a target. That's not going to be good. I'm going to back up. I'm lucky enough that they didn't engage me. In other scenarios, I'm sure they would have, and I would have died. And he still gets the win on that. As you can see, there's many different ways and scenarios where the door opens. Let's say you open this door, and then this door opens. You're dead. Let's say you successfully clear one room, and then there's still a target left. This door opens. You're dead. A lot of the time, it just comes down to luck. And anything that just comes down to luck is not a strategy usually worth looking at unless there are no other better strategies. And sadly, the better strategies involve more people. Even a third person would create a lot of value. So now we are going to do this with a squad of 4. That's why I have these guys here. All right. So whenever you are approaching this kind of area, it's the same principle. These guys are going to be doing the same thing as these guys. As you can see, cross coverage, cross coverage, cross coverage, cross coverage, right? Blah, blah, blah. Tic-tac-toe. So now that we have more people and more able bodies to give us vision, protect, and cover. So in general, you're always trying to deal, if there's a small area of the room, like let's say it was like this small of a room, and the door was here. You want to deal with this first because you can slice the room. Because when you open the door, you don't want there to be an immediate threat right there. You want to be able to slice the door, look inside, and then see the threat. Because if you open the door, it's basically a gamble 50-50. Who has the better reaction time? If it's a person in real life or something, they're going to see you opening the door, so they kind of have an advantage because they know you're coming through. You don't know who's on the other side of the door, so that's going to be an issue in games, right, etc. Same transferable thing. People know you're opening the door. They can shoot at you. Door kickers. You need someone to open the door. You have less reaction time. They can see you. They can engage you first. You die. So it's always good to engage the smallest area of the room, which represents the immediate threat potential of the room. Obviously, there is a large threat potential of the room. But if you were to open it from here, obviously you'd see more and more hostility. Anyway, let's get talking too much. All right. A couple ways you can do this. Now, as I said, you need somebody covering each other. Now you can cover in a split coverage. So what does this do? If anybody opens these doors, we can engage the threat safely and from cover. So what we're going to do is we are going to open, but the issue comes in with no protection. So what we can do is temporarily, this person is going to, I can door right there.
Wilco.
I'm just going to swing the door nice and gently. So that person's going to open the door while this one covers. Now we have cross coverage and we have someone engaging the target. Obviously, this can still go wrong, right? These things can still happen, but it worked out pretty well. This one took damage, but we're going to pull her back and cover, and we're going to pull this one back and cover. Cross coverage. Now, this is as safe as you can technically be when you've opened these doors from this position. I'm going to be talking about not going over to this area here when opening the doors, but we'll do that in a second. These guys cannot retreat, but they are in a reasonable position for defending themselves. If someone comes here, they're basically going to be 50-50 a lot of the time. I'm going to be seeing them first as they have to look in more of a distance. And because I have somebody else also engaging them, they're more likely to die quicker. More firepower, die quicker. So for the first thing, oops, that's not good. I think I didn't calculate an angle there, which they died from, which is a shame. But the principle should still stand. Oh, it's shooting me. Oh, they must be here. That's embarrassing. Let me just do that again. See, mistakes happen. Like that. And we are going to go boom. Cross coverage. Get a diamond, and we're going to open one door.
Roger.
I'm gonna move back. So there's another thing you can do where you stack everyone at the door as the door opens and engage the area with a lot of firepower. That way you can engage multiple sections of the room one at a time. So this person can engage these two. This person, this person here can engage this one and this one. And you kind of get the idea. So everyone's going to be engaging their targets. This requires a lot of coordination, though. That's where this problem comes in. And here is that random variable that I was talking about. Now we're going to turn around and focus this one. This area is the only one that I have to worry about. We lose somebody. Obviously, this was an issue here because no one was covering here. Not show this, and these are important to note and show because it just shows how difficult T-junctions can be without like flashbangs and C2 and wedges, of course, as they are just extremely dangerous, especially with a room with a lot of targets. But we're going to just kind of like keep going through this and kind of showing you what the potential threats can be. Okay, so now there's a couple of variations here. Whenever someone opens a door, they're always at threat. Pretty much never engage this, especially in door kickers too, unless you have some type of gadget like a C2 or whatever. Because opening this door is always going to be death, especially if they are very high leveled enemies that have very quick reaction time. There's not really a lot you can do when you are opening the door solo like this. Even if you do have a lot of coverage, it's just never ever going to be enough, because they open the door and you can't cover this person. You can't be in front of them when they open, technically speaking. And you can in door kickers too if you do this, but you're exposing yourself to more of the room, and it's just never ever the best thing. So, but I can kind of show you, like in door kickers too, you can kind of do that. You can like be inside of other targets, but I'm trying not to do that just for purposes of playing ready or not, technically speaking. But I guess in ready or not, you can open the door and you don't have to worry about it. So maybe I will just do that. So we're stacked up pretty tight here. A lot of firepower in this direction. Now the larger threat here, immediate threat, is going to be here. We're going to focus that angle.
Yeah.
And I got engaged from somewhere over here, as you can see. So it's a lot of technical stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do it in the best way. So cross coverage as standard. As you saw, there was a lot of mess ups. So when it comes to this type of thing, are going to door. We're going to open the door. So
Not here.
I'm going to slice this. I'm going to apply that, and then we're going to look over here a little bit. This. Remember, cross coverage here. Always be even with each other so you can protect each other. And there we go. Now we're going to be cross coverage here. So as you kind of saw, we're opening a room. We're going to stack primarily and have a door opener somewhere, usually stacked with the rest of the people. They're going to open. They're going to engage to the room in the finest area first, the immediate threat. And then you can start to pie the room and handle it while still covering this door. Obviously, sometimes you're not going to have your light always on this door for the to deal with the potential threat, but it's the best you can do with this amount of people with this amount of space, because this is a very tight space and very difficult to deal with. But as you can see, then we are going to try to pie this as best as possible, see into the room, see if there's any enemies. Same thing here. We're going to see, like, okay, what can we see? Now this is going to be a thing where we're going to see here, nothing here. Okay. Now that we have this, we are going to focus this as much as we can. I think that was 1, 2, 3, 4. So this room should be clear. I'm going to pretend that it's not, like we don't know. Oh, we're going to cross coverage, cover each other's backs. As you can see, this would be a threat to this target. We're going to move them up here and cover. There we go. Now, we are going to just flow into the room. Into the room, like that. There we go. Now, we pied as much as we can, and technically there was an unknown here, but we're good, as you can see. Now that we have this foothold, this one becomes so easy. Now, why is that? Well, you can cover people from this angle now, and it is amazing. Anyone opens that door, they're dead. And technically, if you tighten up the firing angle, this angle will be an unknown, and this angle will be an unknown. but anything in this cone of vision will be dead. Now, we still got to open the door. Always an issue. We are going to do this. I'm going to cover him. Ooh. Okay, so this lost the 50-50, but that one engaged that. As you can see, like without a tool, this is always going to be very difficult and based on luck a lot of the time. If you guys have other ideas or suggestions and you want to let me know. Let me know how you would deal with this. Maybe I can share this and you guys can try it out in Door Kickers. 4 players, you know, standard kind of kit, nothing crazy, regular weapons, not high, you know, 7.62 rounds armor piercing, just regular 4.56. But as you can see, like there's no way you can do this where there is going to be a risk. You can only minimize the risk, but there still can be casualties no matter how well you play. Now there are some smaller niche things where you can peek in and out, as I've shown you, like peeking in and out, be like, okay, this, that. But whenever you open this door kickers, one person has to sit there stationary for, you know, 1.5 seconds. And pretty much from every angle, when you open the door, you're going to be able to be seen when you open the door. So there's not much you can do about that. You always need someone covering you physically. So that's when it comes to gadgets. Now, this becomes so much easier with gadgets. It's insane. So now you are going to, instead of kicking the door, we are going to have the, who has the charges? Where are my charges? Okay, I guess we're doing this room. So we are going to set up door charges.
Placing charge.
We're going to cover.
Charge set.
And boom. So now we are going to quickly as possible, because this is still a threat and we can only cover them as well as we can. But what we're going to do is actually, there we go. All right, so we're going to engage this room as quickly as possible and then take it, get a foothold, and then deal with this area over here. So it's going to be pop, engage target, engage target. Now you can spend time playing this. That's probably what you should do the majority of time whenever you're playing a game like this, ready or not, or Door Kickers 2. We don't have a lot of time. This is a potential time bomb of threat. So what we need to do is probably engage it as quickly as possible. We can pie a little bit. And then we're going to, engage the room. So then we're going to go in here and then we're going to watch as these two cover our backs as we go in. Here we go, engaging room. And there you go. So we covered ourselves from the threat. Now we have a foothold. This person is very injured, so we're not going to have them engage. Now we come to here. So that was just one C2 charge. Obviously, you can do 2 C2 charges as well, like set them up and use them at various times. But what we're going to do is, now that we're here, this so they're blocked, running this until they can do that.
Placing charge.
And because games allow it
Charge ready.
to be inside them. And there we go. Pull back really far like this. They're back safer. So we're going to blow the door, engage the targets, let it breathe. No, you guys don't want to come out. Then we're going to pie the door. Pie. Still engaged here, still safe. Now this one's hurt, so we're not going to do that one. But we're going to pie this one. Pie the door. And pie the door. I'll do a little bit back further. Here we go. And now we cleared both rooms. Now this was with C2. Obviously there can still be issues where you can still take damage. As you saw, this one got shot, but it always minimizes that risk. Now the risk is always there, but you're always going to have a really high chance the more gadgets you use, generally speaking. Not always, but generally speaking. But just because you add more C2 does not mean this makes the situation any better. We're going to do this.
Affirmative. Wilco, placing charge. Ready to burn. Placing charge.
But generally speaking, you really want
Charge
to
ready.
engage this area in a cone of fire. So this is what we're going to do. A lot of the time, the best way you can ever deal with this room, pretending like this doesn't exist. So we are going to blow the room, and then you're just going to shoot everything in the area, as I've shown you before. Tighten up the stack, and we're going to pop it. And we're going to pie it. Tighten up the stack. Engage the room, and that room is cleared. Technically a potential threat here, but not much. We are going to move quickly, turn around. This is, generally speaking, going to be the best way you're going to deal with a room like this. And it's basically luck-based. Now, you can protect yourself for this game specifically, and I should put this as a precursor before I even go to this junction. This is a important note before we engage this area. It's important to know, in Ready or Not, and in this game, there are slight differences. Generally speaking, the tactics are very much the same, and probably in a lot of other games as well. Door Kickers 2, depending on the enemy that you're fighting, this will be the likely strategy that you're going to be doing, is focusing on one, and if one opens, you're either fucked, or you might be able to recover from it. I cleared this room very quickly to get a foothold, to be able to deal with this very easily. Once you get a foothold, it's very easy. If you try to engage both rooms simultaneously, it's going to be bad because you're engaging with more targets with better angles than you, and you have to deal with the worst angles, and you're just not really going to be able to do it very well. Because I am dealing with very high level characters in this game here, Door Kickers 2, these enemies will kill you very quickly, so you have to engage them perfectly, not be in their way when they shoot, and having two cover the door here and two cover the door here is fine, but not against these enemies that can kill you very quickly if you make a very slight mistake or they see you from a tiny angle. So it's very touchy and very difficult. So your best bet for Door Kickers is engage like this, focus one room really hard, engage the entire room, take it quickly, turn around, cover as quick as you can, engage this room. Next, in Ready or Not, you're going to be wedging a door, and that's basically the problem solved. If you don't have a wedge, it's going to be pretty much the same thing. You can do, as I was illustrating, cross coverage, holding the door while this team engages the door, and that's totally viable. A lot of the time, that's more than enough, especially since I think in Ready or Not, there's no area where it's like a T-junction with closed doors, with this tight of a space. But I'm still just trying to illustrate these kind of concepts. But as you can see, Ready or Not, that tactic would work where you're cross coveraging each other like this. This would be looking over here. Anyway, so back to Door Kickers. So we're going to do this, and we're going to pop the door. We're going to engage targets. We're going to pie and pie, and we're going to pie and pie. Engage target. Room cleared in 25 seconds, basically, which is pretty quick. As I said in Ready or Not, this would work fine, technically speaking, with the cross coverage, which I'm going to show you. So here, do a split stack on the door, and you do a cross coverage on both sides. Now, one person would open the door. So let's say this. And because you don't need someone covering you in Ready or Not, because you can shoot immediately after you open a door, you don't need an extra person to open the door for you. And that's where the issue comes in with Door Kickers, as you can kind of see, as I've showed you already. Now, temporarily, this angle is unprotected, but in Ready or Not, it's totally fine. It's for a short period of time. If something bad happens, back up, engage the target. It's going to be your best way. You can never have 100% protection in this scenario. There's so many angles, and it's just, you're literally in a fatal funnel, and it's awful. It's a double fatal funnel. It's a candy. It's a candy with a wrapper. Or something else, whatever that is. But let's say, as I said, let's see if I can be creative here. Yeah, like for door kickers, there's just no viable way to open this door. I mean, you can kind of like be exactly inside them, but it's kind of like, in my opinion, not this in spirit of the game or whatever, but we can literally just all stack in a corner like this. Like, well, that seems kind of unfair. You can have every target, you know, a little bit tricky to do, but obviously you can't do this in Ready or Not. But anyway, that's kind of the gist of this. For flashbangs for this area, so here we are going to kind of illustrate if a flashbang is viable. In Ready or Not, any stun is going to be extremely valuable because it's going to stun a large amount of the room and stun the target pretty much always. With the exception of like gas, since some enemies have gas masks, there's no gas in this game. But in this game, if there are highly resistant targets who can recover from stuns quicker, this is what you're going to be doing. So we are going to do this. Make sure I can get the guns on the door. Then as the door blows open, pop, we're going to throw a flashbang in the door. Like so. Tossing flashbang while recovering, and there it goes.
Take cover!
And as it pops, we are going to pie the door. Cross coverage, covering a little bit. Now there's only one target left. Going to engage here. This is a little rough. See stun, take him out, boom. Turn around, focus here. And there we go. Engage targets. As you can see, it went much smoother with a flashbang. We can take the room safer. When we throw a flashbang, we do need to just open the door with a C2. That is going to be your best bet. Whenever you can't open a door or have somebody open a door for you and there's more threat whenever you open the door, don't have somebody open the door, C2 it. And Ready or Not, it's not a thing, as I already discussed like 1,000 times. You can open a door in Ready or Not and shoot back simultaneously. In this game, you can't. But this is basically the end of this T-junction. I know this is a very long video, but there's just so much to talk about. And apparently I really love reiterating things. All right, that's it for the episode. Thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.